Mən böyük məmnuniyyətlə ilk olaraq sözü Nobel mükafatı laureatı Aziz Sancara verirəm. Buyurun hocam.
Well, with regard to the effect of COVID pandemic on our work and our psychology, I will first start with what it did to our work. We do experimental research. We do experiments in the lab. I instruct my students and senior postdocs in the lab about the experiments to do and get feedback from them, and then they carry out the experiments, and over the course of the day we discuss the results and get feedback and so on. So it is a very interactive kind of research. And after the COVID pandemic, we were instructed by the university that only the essential personnel can go to the lab, meaning essential personnel, it was just me and 2 senior members of the group. So that meant 80% of our workforce was cut. And for exactly 1 year, we worked at 20% capacity. And of course, most of the work is done by the students and the postdocs, and this reduced our production a great deal. That was the material aspect of the effect of pandemic on the work, but on what happened in our group. But there was also the psychological aspect of it. The entire group is used to a routine. You go to the lab, you work in the lab all day, and then you go home, you continue either reading literature or thinking about your experiments. And when there is nothing to do and nothing to think about, it becomes very stressful. And for me, as well as for my senior postdoc, it was a very difficult time because we're just used to do science, discuss science, and see what's going on in the scientific world. For example, I think the best example of the psychological effect of the pandemic on my group has been, I have 3 Turkish students, 3 female Turkish students. By Turkish, I mean from Turkey. Who live in graduate student housing, and they spend their entire day in the lab, and in the evening they go to their room and do some work on computer. And these ladies were stuck in their room for nearly a year. And they're not like the American or other international students who'd been there for a long time and therefore have contacts to communicate with, and therefore it was very hard on them. And so in the last 4 months or so, the situation has been relaxed because we've all been vaccinated, but still we have to wear masks and follow pretty restrictive criteria of interacting with one another. And so it has been very stressful. And finally, at the university level, I think it made international news. At my university, within 2 months of start of this academic year, there were 4 suicides among the undergraduate students. And so it has been very difficult, both with regard to scientific production as well as its psychological effect on the personnel. That's really my perception of the pandemic and work in our group.
Aziz Hocam, teşekkür
That's
ederim.
really all I have to say about it. I'll be happy to answer questions.